Let me tell you the probable journey to a new kind of money, a digital U.S. dollar. It's being called the DUSD. There's a race going on right now, and it's really happening between the United States and China. Who is going to win the race of digital money? We know that China has already introduced some of their digital money, and it allows complete control. The United States wants to launch and have a sovereign cryptocurrency at a global scale as well. And it, too, will provide complete control. They've been working on a digital currency, and it's no secret. I just don't know that people really realize how close the Fed is to actually launching its first formal cryptocurrency. It should be in its beta stage by the second half of 2021 or early 22. Now, China's already launched their digital currency. However, the U.S. Federal Reserve, slow out of the blocks, is slated to launch 4 new digital dollar projects in the second half of this year, with major announcements about those pilots expected probably next month. In February of this year, the Fed quietly published a white paper on the website, effectively detailing how the central bank and U.S. Treasury might issue sovereign cryptocurrency. It's a cryptic roadmap, and knowing what we know about previous currency transitions in the U.S., we can speculate at some of the effects of this, and an educated guess. Now, they're looking at something called the Fed coin. Now, let me explain what's happening. You have all this pressure on all the money. You have debt with housing and all of the things that caused the 2008 crash. All of those things are now happening in ways that dwarf 2008. And we are getting further and further behind the 8 ball because things are becoming more and more expensive. But things don't make sense right now. And I'll explain this next hour. The free market is gone. It's gone. Why do we have so many cattle and so much beef, and the farmer and the rancher is losing money? They're going out of business. How is that possible? And the meat price going up. You have the raw product. Why is the price skyrocketing? How much of the shortages and the things that we're experiencing now are real? Well, I will tell you a lot of it is real because, not of COVID, but because of the money that we have pumped into the system. So if you look at what's going to happen, we can't print this kind of money. So money, we will have plenty of money, but nothing our money can buy because it will be worthless. So we have to bring the United States down to everybody else's level if we're looking for equity. We have to make sure that the United States is at the same level as everyone else. And the best way to do this, the best way to redistribute wealth, is to change currencies. The best way to get out of this soon-to-be worthless dollar is to change currencies. Now, we've done this before. It's called currency transition. And in every currency transition that we have had, and we've had 3 of them in the United States, the average citizen loses about 50% of the purchasing power of their money. Continental dollars to U.S. federal dollars to greenbacks, greenbacks to silver gold certificates and the gold standard, and then to the Federal Reserve notes. Every time we have changed our money, the average person loses about 50%. Well, it's going to get better. It's going to get much better. Instant inflation has robbed Americans of about 40% of their purchasing power overnight. Now, this is in 1933. You've lost 40%. In the intervening years from 33 to today, your purchasing power if you would have had one of the gold-backed certificates, you would be able to have an additional 98% of purchasing power. But because we no longer base this on gold, you've lost 98% of the value of your dollar since 1933. $1 silver certificate would give you an ounce of pure silver in 1932. That's worth $30. That would have been enough in 1932 to buy you 600 chocolate bars from Hershey. 1932, the retail price was 5 cents. But $1, the Federal Reserve note, will only net you about 1/28th of an ounce of silver, and that's not enough to buy even a single Hershey's bar. So you lose power, your purchasing power first. And people start to say, I can't afford anything. It's not worth anything. Okay. So then they come in with the solution. Now, according to the Fed, a new Fed-issued cryptocurrency will be rolled out to the American people. Now, let's walk through one possible, if not probable, scenario according to their white paper. Every American that has a Social Security number or a taxpayer identification number is going to be issued a brand new Fed Now account. What's a Fed Now account? Well, it's a bank account set up automatically for you at a Federal Reserve member bank. Well, we will finally find out which banks are the Federal Reserve banks. There's 5 of them. The Federal Reserve will then seed each account with a digital U.S. dollar. Whether it's called a Fed coin or DUSD or some other name, we don't know. But the Fed will set up an account for every American, including your children, and then deposit some amount of free digital currency into each account. To access the new free digital currency, every American will simply be asked to activate or claim their FedNow account, either in person at a member bank or via an online portal. Part of the activation process will be to link any existing bank accounts to the new Fed account, making it easy to move money from one place to another. Any future payments made by Uncle Sam or directly by the Fed, whether COVID-19 stimulus checks or cash for clunkers or, your welfare payment or your tax return, will be paid by the Fed directly into your Fed Now account. This way, the Fed has a way to force everybody into early adoption. Americans will have the option to convert existing dumb U.S. dollars, both where they hold physical bills plus digitally held deposits, into smart digital dollars. So in other words, hey, you have an option. You can just keep your Fed account. But after probably about a year, that's usually what it takes, a year, they're going to start saying, okay, your dollar is worth 75 cents if you get it right now. In 3 months, it'll be worth 50 cents. And in a year, it won't be able to be turned in at all. So they will force you out of the greenback into the digital U.S. dollar. Now, there's something else special. And this one I really like. They're going to ban all other kind of cryptocurrencies and make it impossible for you to use. So they're forcing you into this. And with this new equity program, because remember, that's what the Treasury now, that's their number one priority, is equity. That's redistribution of wealth. What comes with that is a new sliding system. So in other words, if you are wealthy, and let's say you have $1 million in the bank, when you turn in your $1 million for the new DUSD or Fed coin, you might get 40%. You might get 40 cents on every dollar. But if you're poor and you're in a certain protected class, you might get $1 or $1.25 for every dollar that you have in the bank. Do you see what's happening? Once you adopt the Fed now, the Federal Reserve and their partner Uncle Sam gets perfect digital tracking of every single dollar spent in every single transaction. Who bought what, who paid for it, how much, who got paid. And the Fed can promise cryptocurrency through ledger technology to prevent fraudulent transactions. So they're going to be able to make sure that nothing is ever paid out for ransomware or anything like that. And don't worry, everything is going to be really wonderful, especially when you add in the ESG, the environmental social governance programs at the corporate level and then at your level. You want to travel? Sure, but if your ESG score is too low, how are you going to pay for it? Because you have too big of a carbon footprint. I'll publish all of these details on glennbeck.com. Look for it, The Probable Journey to a U.S. Digital Dollar, because it is coming. And we'll show you how they are boxing you in on tonight's program. And they're doing it with food now. It's the Meat Mafia. A special tonight at 9 p.m. only on Blaze TV.